Hi guys, it's Bowser64, and I am here with my well overdue video of the Game Boy Micro. Now this is a video review of the Game Boy Micro, and we are going to be reviewing just what makes this console so awesome. And there are many facets about this console that I really love. And this is actually one of my favorite Game Boy systems ever because of these factors. Now, the first thing I want to discuss of why this console is awesome, the screen. Now, of course, you guys are wondering, the screen on the Micro, it's so small you can't see anything. Well, oh dude, you can see way more than you could with any other Game Boy system. Let me show you. Now see, this is what the Game Boy Micro looks like. It's about maybe half an inch thick, and it's still quite considerably thinner than most consoles out there today. It's very small. You can see its nice rectangular form shape, and you also have a great little setup of where the buttons are. Now, I like how the buttons light up on the front face here whenever you turn the console on, which I'll do right now. There you go. You can see them blinking. Yeah. And then these blue lights behind the start and select buttons, they will glow blue when you have good power, but when you run low on battery, they'll turn red. And also when you're charging, they'll just turn blue to indicate charging level. So that's an overview of the console. I still didn't tell you why it was awesome, did I? Are you ready for this? Okay, so the screen. What about the screen? Well, bet you didn't know it was high definition, did you? Don't take my word for it. It's probably not 1080p or something, but I mean, to me, high definition is a screen that you can see what you're doing when you're playing a game. So, yeah. Well, of course, you don't always play games on screens, but that's besides the point. Yeah, there is, but I don't really care because you're a computer. There's someone here yourself. Okay, so the screen, it's about, man, it's really small, maybe about 2 inches in length. And width, it's probably about 1.25 inches, maybe. I don't know. I haven't measured it myself, but you can look this up on Wikipedia, and I'm sure it'll give you the exact measurements. But I love this screen because it's so easy to see. The backlight on this console is like the best out of any Game Boy Nintendo's ever released. And I say that because it is true. And yeah. What I like about this screen the most, though, is that the gameplay on it, it really condenses what you're normally seeing as blocks, like on the old Game Boys. Like you could see the blocks in Mario's head and his hair, and all the graphics really were kind of blocky. Not so on the Game Boy Micro. When you turn this little baby on, you can see everything. In fact, it's so condensed into a small area on a very high pixel count dot per inch screen that you can see everything very, very clearly. In fact, you don't even notice blockiness at all. It's almost like the whole game has been like, what do you call it, refined in graphic capability. But it is, of course, the same game you've always played, but it's on a small screen. But that's enough about the screen. I don't think I can tell you anything more about the screen. But you can adjust the screen brightness level by pressing the L button on your Game Boy and using the volume slider right here. It's really a volume rocker. And you just press down to decrease the brightness, and you press up to increase it. And also you can press down, well, yeah, you can press down on the slider here to make your volume low and off. And if you hold it up, I said hold it up, once it beeps, you're at maximum volume. One thing I don't like about the Micro is that the sound quality is really, it's pretty good, like, as far as like the quality of the sound, but the loudness of the sound, it's like you can hardly hear it. But you also have to take into account of how small this console is. And there's really not that much room for a much bigger speaker than they put in here. Besides, most people turn game sound off anyway when they're playing a game, like at the airport or Walmart or a waiting room somewhere. You know, you don't really take the sound and blast it in people's ears like plugging in an amplifier and stuff. You don't do that stuff. But that's besides the point. You probably don't need to know that. But, yeah. I do like the quality of the sound. Besides, check this out. You know the Game Boy Advance SP didn't have a headphone port, right? Well, guess what? Nintendo got it right this time. There's a headphone port in the Game Boy Micro. 1/8" headphone port. You just plug in any headphones, you can be like, yay! Super Mario! And it's pretty awesome, so yeah. I'm really jazzed right now because it's Thanksgiving Day and I had a wonderful ham and turkey. And I also had a wonderful sweet potato pie, lime salad, deviled eggs, you know, black olives. It was just a wonderful meal, but relevance, please, Bowser? Relevance? Okay, so yeah. We're going to talk about the buttons on the Game Boy Micro now. Now, they're just buttons, of course, but I like the way that they're laid out. You can see that, I'm going to do a close-up on the console a little bit later, but you can see that according to the face, like compared to the face of the actual console, the buttons are quite high when compared to the face of the console. This makes them very easy to press, and I really like that. The control on this console is really nice. Though the L and R buttons are a little bit finicky. You have to look at them, and you gotta be pressing really close to the center of the console. Like here's where the charging port is. And you have to press like this to get any input out of them, because if you press on the edges or the corners of the console where the L and R buttons are, that's not where the contacts ought to go. Click, 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 and make your inputs happen. So you always gotta stay towards the center. That's kind of, not really sure I like that, but I mean, I'm sure it was a design thing that they had to do because they've crammed so much awesomeness into this little machine. There's really not much room for more awesomeness, if you know what I mean. Totally tubular. So yeah. Well, the other thing is that most people don't really discuss about the Game Boy Micro is the battery. Now, I don't know how long the battery pack lasts, but I think it's around like at least 12 hours on the lowest brightness setting on this thing. Something like that. I mean, it should be very long because it really doesn't consume that much power, even though it is pretty much a Super Nintendo in your pocket. This actually is a rechargeable lithium-ion battery pack, and you never have to replace your batteries. Like, you remember the original Game Boy, like, take for instance the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Pocket, and the Game Boy original. Dude, those things ate batteries. I mean, first we started with 4 batteries in the original Game Boy, then we upgraded to, I don't know how many the Game Boy Pocket took, maybe 2? And then we went to Game Boy Color, which also took 2 AA's. All of these took AA's. And then we went to the Game Boy Advance, which still took 2 AA's. So, you know, we haven't really advanced in power, but now they're really building some nice battery systems into future consoles like the Game Boy Micro and the Game Boy Advance SP. Game Boy Advance SP was the first Game Boy to feature a rechargeable battery pack. And that was really convenient because all you had to do is charge it and walk. And you could play like all day. I mean, you don't have to carry AA's in your pocket, which is actually kind of a health hazard anyway. So you just plug it in and you're good to go. And they kept that awesome thing with this console too. It's a very small battery pack. I'm very surprised how small it is. It's, I don't know, if you ever go to restaurants and get those match packages, it's sort of like that big, and it's almost that thin, so yeah. It might be even smaller. I mean, it's not the size of this face here, or this cover. It's a lot smaller than that. It's just very small, we'll say that. And it is replaceable, so if you ever exhaust your batteries, you just get a new rechargeable battery pack, shove it in there, and you're good to go. Except, Nintendo does not make Game Boy Micro accessories anymore. Because, I mean, why? I mean, we really need to talk about the sales of this console before we move on, so you know what I'm talking about. This console sold 2.40 million units after being released. In its lifetime, it sold 2.40 million units, or something like that. I think I'm pretty close to the number. I might not be right on. I'll probably put a actual title that says how much value it is. But yeah. Now that sounds like a lot, but really it's not when you have a world to market this console to. That is a very, very small market, what do you call it? Not value, but reach. I mean, this console is really awesome, but it was sort of came out at the same time as the Nintendo DS. And as you know, Nintendo DS is really awesome and has some awesome games. And it pretty much overran the sales of the Game Boy Micro because Nintendo released the Game Boy Micro at the same time as the DS, not knowing that the Nintendo DS would take off so much and hit home as well as it has. So basically what happened is Nintendo pulled this thing off the market and you can no longer buy it. You can only get these things on like Amazon, eBay, CJ Games, pretty much online stores. You might be able to find them in used video game stores. Like I found this one at FX Video Game Exchange for like $40. That's with the charger in the system. No games, just a charger in the system, the faceplate that came on it, and that's it. But you can find good deals on these things. These things were marketed at $99.99 by Nintendo in America. And that was actually a very good price. But, say $100. But they definitely are worth that. But now, since you can get them, since they're so rare, luckily they dropped in price. They're about $50 for most deals. And some still sell them on Amazon for like $100 or something. It's pretty crazy. But it's a great system. Now, it does feature just a typical slider for power, sort of like you had on the Game Boy Color. But it's actually a much more rigid model with the power switch than any other Game Boy I've ever seen. And check out this casing around the console. It is aluminum. It's not plastic. It is actual metal. So that kind of gives you a sense of longevity of how this console is going to be lasting you in the future because it is built very well. Now, I don't know anything we haven't covered. The main thing is the faceplates. Dude, if you're considering buying a micro, buy it for this feature. One, it's ultra portable. It fits in your pocket. I mean, check it out. You even see it's there? You even see it's there? You can't even tell. That's how small it is and how awesome. So you can actually take this anywhere. You can put a lanyard on it. It has a lanyard attachment hole, so you can like put it on your necklace or hang it on your belt, hang it on your instrument case, anywhere pretty much. Put it inside your hat, put that hat on top of your head. You can't even tell it's there. It's really awesome. Now, one thing I don't think that I covered is the speaker. I might have covered this, but I don't really remember because I'm not going by an outline. So yeah, we are looking at the speaker right here. These three holes are where the speaker is. And the speaker quality is really good. But why do I feel like I'm repeating myself? I'm pretty sure I covered this. But the faceplates, let's go back to those. Let's stay focused. The faceplates come off. If you go over where the A and B buttons are and put your fingernail in this little notch here and just pull, you can take the faceplate right off. Actually, yeah, I think that's the way you're supposed to do it. I might have pried it off the wrong end. Now you can see the actual console, and this is the faceplate. See, it's basically just a thin piece of plastic. What makes it awesome though is when you scratch up your screen, you're not scratching up your screen anymore. You're scratching up the screen protector, which relates to the faceplate. So if you just put a new faceplate on, you're good to go with a brand new gaming experience, basically. As long as you don't dent up the other parts of your console, you're pretty much good to go. Now, one thing I will definitely recommend is to never, ever play your system with the faceplate off, because this screen is now exposed. It's like you taking it apart completely and taking off the screen protector of your DS Lite and looking at the actual LCD display with no protection. This is what this is, so you want to be very careful when replacing faceplates to not touch it. Now you can clean it, just clean it with a soft cloth, and like a very soft cloth, like probably a lens cleaning cloth would be the best solution, or a suede sort of cloth. One thing I do, which probably is kind of dumb, is I sometimes play my console without the faceplate on, because it doesn't... I'm trying to do something.
Ooh, what are you doing?
I'm going to have to edit this out now.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were doing that. Did you get a chance to look at for that track of that song for me?
No. I don't have it.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So, back to the faceplate. If you can replace the faceplate, I usually play my console without it on because mine's very scratched up when I bought it. And it was that way when I bought it, like I said. And it's kind of hard to look through, so I just play mine like this. That way I can see totally... Oh, wow. Game cartridge is not in all the way or something. I can see very pristine graphics this way. And I also like it because I have total access of my buttons, and I have a lot more control than if I had a faceplate on there. So yeah, it's Super Mario World. I don't know if you can see it. We're going to show you gameplay in a little bit in a separate clip, but it'll be a while yet because we're not done. One thing I want to tell you right off though, yeah, you just put the woohoo. See what I'm saying? Gotta be careful. Gotta be quick. Gotta be quick. Don't drop it. So you're gonna put the faceplate back on just like this. Yeah, it's the other way. You can tell I don't work with these things very much. I just play them. There you go. And oh, one thing we didn't cover. This is the charging port on the back. Here's the charger. You just take this and you plug it in, and yeah, that's pretty much self-explanatory. I don't think I really need to talk about that, but yeah. There you go. And you plug it into the wall, 120 volt AC, woohoo! And then you're good to go. So yeah, the game cartridges. Look how big the cartridge is compared to the console. Can you believe this? I mean, it's almost as big as the console itself. Now, if Nintendo has the technology to make things this small, I mean, that's just incredible. The only reason that this system is this big is because it needed to fit cartridges this big. I mean, I bet they could make a Game Boy Advance the size of your fingernail and have like a video output for screen. I mean, it's incredible. But they couldn't make it much smaller, you couldn't play it. I mean, you know, so I've actually taken these things apart and they are very, very tightly put together. So it's a fine little device. What I like, though, is how it's designed inside this cartridge. It's pretty simple. You just plug it in and stuff, and I don't know why I said that. Yeah. But one thing I'm going to tell you right now, if you're looking at buying this console, it does not play Game Boy games. Okay? Don't try it. For one, they won't fit inside this console. In fact, let me prove it to you. I'll be right back. OMG, it doesn't fit. OMG. Oh my gosh, how is this supposed to even work? Oh, I filed this thing down, but it's still not even fitting. Go in there. Come on. It fits. It fits. The manual says not to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yes, it's going to load. Come on, load. You can do it. You can do it. What kind of world is this? Oh, this stupid thing. yeah. I actually used questionable means to modify a Game Boy cartridge to fit in my Game Boy Micro here. And I can confirm that the hardware to play Game Boy games is not present in this console. Only Game Boy Advance games, people. Because I plugged in my Game Boy game to this console and turned it on, and I got a red light where the blue lights are behind the select and start. So it was definitely a bad thing. It probably said like console error, error, error. So I didn't want to self-destruct or anything, so I just ripped my Game Boy cartridge out and didn't try that again. So just stick with Game Boy Advance games, people, because they're the awesome ones anyway, and except for the Wario Land and Mario Land series, and probably Pokemon, stuff like that. And yeah. So I guess we're going to go on over and show you some actual gameplay of how this console plays. And maybe a little close-up review of how the buttons are laid out and stuff like that. I do really thank you for watching my video, and stay tuned. There's some more gameplay coming up. Okay, so review time. Here's the console, up close and personal. Here's the A and B buttons, speaker holes, the control pad, which is actually a carryover from the Nintendo DS, and the select and start buttons, which light up when you turn the console on, and glow red when you are low on battery. Here is the charging port, and the L and R buttons. And again, be sure to press the L and R buttons just like I am. That way you'll register input. Otherwise, if you press on the corners, you won't get input because that's not where the contacts are located on the motherboard. And here's the rocker switch, which controls both volume, just by itself, and with L and the rocker switch you can adjust brightness. And the back is where you plug in the game cartridge. Or insert it, really. As you can see, it's almost as big as the console itself. Pretty impressive, eh? Nintendo always does it, I'm telling you, man. So there you go. And here is your console information, Game Boy Micro, serial number, don't throw in the washer, stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to show you how to remove the faceplate up close and personal. There you go. And there's your screen and your buttons. And I actually play it this way sometimes because I get better sound without having to cover it up with the faceplate. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it because it's a very valuable screen down there and you don't want to damage it. You can see my faceplate's pretty darn scratched up though, so yeah. And yeah, the buttons... wow. The buttons are kind of raised up, like in relation to the actual console face, as I was talking about. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to show you some gameplay now, but my arms hurt. There we go. This console actually came in some different shit, like actual faceplates and stuff. Like there was a Famicom version that was really popular. And this thing is roughly the size of a NES controller, or also a Famicom controller. And it's really probably meant to emulate more of a Famicom sort of deal. So, yeah. We're going to play a little bit of Mario World for you guys. This is one of my favorite games, which I'll actually be reviewing in a later video, at a later date. And it should be a lot of fun. I like it a lot because it's so addictive, and even though it is a carryover from Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo or SNES, sounds like someone sneezed, yeah, it's a pretty awesome game. So I'm just going to be playing one level through, and I know you guys can't see much, but so I'll hold it far away so it'll adjust. Yeah, that was a quick demo. Alright. That's pretty much it for the Game Boy Micro, and I really love this console. And if you guys are considering going out and buying one of these, do it. I mean, you have nothing to lose. They're cheap now, $50 if you get a good deal, and just $99.99 if otherwise. I don't know if they still go for sale price, but there's a lot of deals out there for $89.99 and stuff like that. But it's a great console, and again, it only plays Game Boy Advance games. Don't try Game Boy games. It won't work. So, yeah, thanks for watching, comment, and rate, and I'll see you around with another YouTube video. Happy Thanksgiving. See you later.